everybody, and welcome to Sunday Brunch. It is IRM, and of course, we have with us today Russ Whitfield. Russ, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, RM. How are you?
I'm doing well. As I told you earlier, I can only stream for a little while today because I have my brother's going to come and pick me up, and then we're heading over to see my mom. So, um,
Breathe.
yeah. um, it's so good to see you, Russ, here. And of course, I want to say hello to Tom Jr. Jackson, my moderator, collaborator, and good friend. We are all goof people who says, welcome, everybody, to Sunday Brunch Live. Also, please check out Russ's Amazon storefront. You can pick up Russ's Gladiatrix series. You guys don't want to miss out on that. And also subscribe to
Don't
my
want to miss it.
yeah, to my Roman Empire Matters channel as well. I have a ton of recordings that I'm going to start posting. Guys, I'm not going to be able to stream. I'm going to be streaming next week, as I was discussing with you, Russ. But after that, I'm going to be in an area where there is not reliable internet service. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the show. But, I was
Yeah,
speaking
I'm
to,
not sure you should be talking about, your mission to Vietnam to get those prisoners back on a live stream. I mean, that's sort of Gene Hackman, Chuck Norris, Sylvester Stallone territory right there. And you know, I mean, I just think we should have kept it on the lowdown.
well, it's not Operation Condor, Russ, but
God
I'm
damn
going to
it.
be busy. I'm going to be, kind of in a place where, I can't really do the show. But I do want to say hello to everybody here. And thank you, Tom, of course, always for being here. Gary Bando Sandwich Worthington is here. It's a footy time, but here is a like. Thank you, Gary
Oh yeah,
Bando.
who's playing? For England playing?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Gary,
I
maybe
don't keep up with it anymore. It's shocking.
yeah, Gary, let us know. Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies is here, Russ.
Hey there, how are you? Tally ho, hip hip hurrah.
Hip hip hurrah! Tally ho! Yes, Russ, tally ho. Thank you so much for the lovely greeting, Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies. And Mario Lopez is here, who says, since we didn't have our Sunday brunch last week, we really need our beloved show today. Aw,
Oh,
thank you,
nice one,
dear.
Mario.
Oh gosh, that's so sweet. What a kind word to say, and I so appreciate that, Mario. It's great to see you as well. Bonzo Kilborn is here, Russ.
All right, Bonzo.
Says, hail to one and all. May the fates smile upon you. Ooh, I like that. May the
Mm.
fates smile upon you. I love that. I love anyone smiling upon me. I love that. Thank you so much, Bonzo. Grogu's here.
Hey, Brogu.
Says, good morning, everyone. Arton and Russ. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. And Russ, Mario is watching Guy Ritchie's film, The Covenant. And he says he can say it's excellent, the ideal film for anyone who enjoyed watching Land of Bad. That's me.
I saw The Covenant with Jake Gyllenhaal. It's really good. It's really, really good.
Oh my gosh, I guess I better watch it.
Hmm.
And Tom reminds us that there will be a Let's Get Physical Media today at 2 p.m. So guys, make sure you check that out. And Old Yorkshire Geek is here. This is afternoon, everybody. That is wonderful to see you, Old Yorkshire Geek guys. And check out Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies channel. I love that station. So guys, make sure you check it out. Stavros is here, Russ.
Greetings, Stavros.
Stavros, it's so good to see you. Says, hey, all. And Stavros says he's just done watching Godzilla versus Kong twice. Is it versus or is it times?
I think it's
Both,
Godzilla X Kong. I think that's what
yeah.
everyone's calling it.
Godzilla X Kong times Kong. Both the Dolby and 3D version were spectacular. We love that you enjoyed that, Stavros. It's so good to hear people get excited about movies again, right, Russ?
Hmm.
It's been such an unusual time when it comes to movies. And Stavros says also, since we've been here, my Yukon college team both went to the Final Four. Yes, even though I'm more of a diehard Duke Ohio State fan. Oh,
Okay.
well, that's good to know,
I
Stavros.
don't know what any of that means, but congratulations.
And Darth Plato is here this morning. Hello, Darth Plato.
Hello.
How are you? Good to hear you here on the channel. And Old Yorkshire Geek says, oh, Bonzo says, give mom our best. I will give her your best. Thank you, Bonzo. Old Yorkshire Geek says, Rambo. Yes, Rambo. Have you been watching that new show on Apple Plus called, I think it's called Palm something. Gosh, what is it called? but it's like kind of a big Palm Royal. Have you been watching that? They've had a lot of stuff on there that has like the mambo on it, so it's a rambo. I really like that. Oh, Yorkshire Geek, I think I might take that up. Um, and Tom G. Jackson says RM will be going to Area 51. Um, I love it. And Bonzo says, at Positive Fandom, are you gonna be in German Castle, Richard Burton and Clint Eastwood? I wish.
And
Mitch,
only eagles dare to go there, I'm afraid, Bonzo.
the mission would never be completed, but I think I would have a fantastic time. What I wouldn't give for 1 hour with Richard Burton, I'm just gonna leave it at that, and maybe even Clint Eastwood. That would maybe. I think I'd probably my mind would explode. What a treat that would be. Darth Vader says, "I'm going to search for Dutch Schultz's treasure." Oh gosh, and Jedi Bill is here, Russ.
I don't think I've ever seen Jedi Bill before. Hello, mate. Nice to have you on board. If you haven't been here before, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, good to have you. Happy Sunday, mate.
Yeah, I love your avatar. Oh, that's a lot of fun, Jedi Bill. I love that. It looks like he's doing this. He's got the right.
Hmm.
Am I right in his hand? That's a pretty cool avatar, Jedi Bill. So good to see you there. Um, Tom Jr. Jackson says Artem is going to steal the Declaration of Independence. Yeah, I would totally mess that job up. And Stubble says, hello. Hi, Stubble. How are
Hello,
you,
mate.
Stubble? Is it getting warm near you now, Stubble? Has the thaw occurred? Let us know there. You guys want me to go to Area 61? It's nothing that glamorous, unfortunately. Um, so something, Russ, it is really funny. You and I have been talking about entertainment recently. There have been some stories that I've kind of avoided. There's one story, I don't know whether you got a chance to watch that
I
video
did.
that okay, so I'm sure some of you who are on this right here right now, who are watching already know that I am a big fan of this comic book artist who unfortunately is no longer with us. And I just want to say, I actually am not going to say anything other that I hope he rests in peace. And there's plenty of other videos that talk about what happened to him, including Roberts, but also how to deal with that situation. So, guys, if you are a creator, this is my only other comment. Please be careful. Look at some of these other videos. There are creators out there who are advising other creators on what to do in these situations. I'm sure many of you who've watched Robert's video on the topic also found out a lot about the situation, but certainly something to think about. Please protect yourselves. Um, and please don't end up in that similar situation if you can avoid it. So that I promised myself that was all I was going to say about that situation. I just hope Piscor ends up in peace. I hope he rests in peace, and I'm going to leave it at that. um because I have no, as you know, I don't make videos about events that are like that at the point of when they're made. I That's not my style, guys. I have a different approach to it. Watch all those other videos. I'm seeing so many videos. Yes, Robert did handle it with respect. And I spoke to Robert about it. And I'm seeing Robert, along with other creators out there who have a lot of good advice. Go ahead and heed that advice, guys, if you're out there, and just be careful. There's always someone who's trying or may want to cut down a creator, because there is a thing called professional jealousy as well. So just be careful of that. I think it showed us a much bigger problem. So just be careful. Go and watch those videos that all those other creators. I'm seeing creators that I haven't even seen that literally just started their YouTube channels because they wanted to get the word out to help other creators. So go ahead and do that and continue to support the creators that you like. Just keep that in mind. We want everyone to be successful, and people will make mistakes, but we don't want people to take drastic measures. So if you ever feel like you want to do something like that, please call someone, reach out to someone. Please don't take your own life. Please don't do that. Please. So that's all I was going to say. Russ, do you have any comments about that particular video?
No, only to say that I hope that this tragic episode goes some way to sort of addressing this disgusting culture that we seem to have fallen into. It's one thing, the sort of the wokosos arguing with people like me about whatever in films, but that sort of same cancel culture mob, the ones that went after Gina, the ones that have hounded so many people off of platforms, it's reached its natural conclusion. And I'm sure this has happened to kids. I mean, they've committed these acts on camera and all the rest of it. People have driven them to it, but these are kids with no names. Finally, there's someone who perhaps has a bit of a profile, and it's happened to them now. And I only hope that people would check themselves. But as Rob identified on his show, they're probably laughing, they're probably celebrating. It's a damning indictment on this whole culture, essentially. This whole dopamine addiction that people have developed, the hits, the right, as Rob, look, Rob said it far more eloquently. I don't think we need to re-go over that ground, but I hope it stops, but I doubt it.
And like I said, and that's a good point that you make, Russ. You said you hope it stops, but you doubt it. And because you and I both have that same sentiment about, you know, feeling that it's not going to stop, let's say, please protect yourselves, guys. If you are a creator out there who's watching this, go and watch those other streams of these other YouTubers who have good advice of how to protect
Shit, it could have
themselves.
happened to me 10 years
Yeah.
ago. My friend MJ, you've met MJ, right?
Yes.
MJ first wrote me fan mail when she was 19. Can you help me? Can you, like, I really love your books. It's she was young, like the greatest thing ever. I really love your character. Blah, blah, blah. Can you help me? I want to write a book. I'm like, yeah, sure, fucking hell, yeah, they're writing backwards and forwards, no problem, no problem. MJ's actually in a room now. She's living with me. She's back in England, but it could have gone the other way. And like my part was completely innocent. I'm sure it's completely innocent on this poor gentleman's. It's just really shit. Anyway,
hmm So may you rest in peace. I think we all feel this way. Bonzo has some. I'm glad you said this, Bonzo. If you're feeling like doing something drastic, remember that many more people want to help you than to tear you down. Absolutely, Bonzo. That's good advice. And Mario says, unfortunately, the internet, social media, and cell phones can be dangerous tools. And Russ, you're right. It has infiltrated every area in
hmm
in our world now. It is social media. It is media, cell phones, the internet. Mario, it's supermarket. It's the train station.
hmm
It's now gone to the wave has covered every area under the sun. Universities, places at the workplace, places of worship. It's everywhere. um yeah, just protect yourself, guys. That's all I'm asking. There's a lot of very talented creators out there, and many of them have been banned. Speaking of cons, kind of why I'm bringing this up. Stavros says, will you both be heading to a con for specialty streams? Well, I'm not going to one just now. I mean, I did some streams last year for a con, but right now I'm not going to a con. Russ, are you going to a con for a specialty stream?
No, no one would invite me apart from you. I'm a horrible reprobate.
No, you're fantastic. Um, so right now, Stavros, no, I'm not going to one anytime soon. However, I've done a few, like I've done a few con streams, and they're fun, and there's some cons coming up. So the only one I actually have planned is San Diego Comic Con in the summer. I did hang out with a bunch of people from the New York City Away team, which is a Star Trek group, and I saw the premiere of Discovery episodes 1 and 2 for the last season 5. And I got to see, Sonequa Martin Green in person, and she's a lovely lady. And we just had fun. Like, our group has fun, even though, I admit that Discovery is not one of my favorite programs. I just wanted to see my friends. So we had a great time, Russ, watching everything.
Mm.
So it's good. Stubble mentioned that they had snow at the beginning of the week, but it's 59 and sunny now. I'm so glad, Stubble. And Russ, you were saying, MJ was saying where she was in Canada, they
Mm,
just had snow. So people are still getting snow now, here in April, March and April, more or less.
mhm.
I'm just hoping that it warms up and we get some warm sunshine. Um, and Stubble mentions he's glad there wasn't social media when he was in his teens. Me too. Hello, performing artist is sitting in an airport coming from a family member's wedding, heading back to Atlanta. That's wonderful. Performing artist.
I bet
Uh,
all the chicks are checking him out. He's the best looking man on the internet.
I'm supposed to be in Atlanta in September, a performing artist, so I might hit you up. Maybe we could hang out and say hi. So, but at least that's the plan right now. They may change the location, but I'm
When are you
supposed
going?
to be there. In September, I'm going to be in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah. So, depending upon like if work decides it's not going to be Atlanta, then I won't. But as of let's say today, they said it's Atlanta. Maybe we could hang out. Um, and Dark Plato says, I don't do social media. Saw this coming 20 years ago.
Yeah, I have to say I don't really engage with social media anymore. I have it and I sort of scroll through it, but I've long since really stopped commentating. I was really I was really upset to read this. Like I was going through Reddit and there's a sub on there, heavy metal sub, and the things that people sort of talk about, it's just so sort of not metal, and I couldn't work out if this was just like these particular people, or if this is like how heavy metal has gone now. Like I fucking hate this band and they're so shit and everything about that. What do you think of the people that like that? Yeah, they're all scum. It's kind of like, no, that's not metal. Like, I don't care if you like thrash or death or doom or whatever it happens to be. I don't like those. I don't mind doom metal, but I really don't like death metal. I don't like thrash metal. I like heavy metal, traditional new wave of British heavy metal. That's what I like. Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Saxon, Hysterica, all of that stuff, Running Wild. But we were all, dare I say, to quote Man of War, brothers of metal. But the toxicity even in the heavy metal space. And then I looked at a goth one, and it was kind of the same thing. And these kids are just so sort of worried about, how can I be accepted as a goth? And I've noticed some of you have really pale skin, and how do I get my skin that pale? I know. And I'm just like, fuck's sake, man, put some talcum powder on. That's what I used to do.
Yeah, just use some makeup. Don't worry about trying to change
I
the way you
know.
actually look. Use makeup to give the illusion, but keep
Exactly.
your natural good looks, guys.
I
Don't
used to
hurt
put the
yourself.
foundation on and then chuck talcum powder on my face, like the
Yeah,
fields of the Nephilim.
have they not ever seen Kiss? I mean, those guys don't
Yeah,
actually look like that makeup that they have on them.
but it was
They're
more
just
the sort
more,
of
you know,
discourse around it. These in-depth discussions of why a certain band are just, like Ghost. Like everybody hates Ghosts apparently, and I think Ghosts are brilliant. But I don't know. It's just everything on there is that I see nowadays. If it can be toxicified, it becomes toxicified. I couldn't believe it, heavy metal. I couldn't believe it, goth. But then, I say that, but can you believe it of superheroes? Well, yeah, but we've been there for a number of years. It's yeah. Anyway,
no,
moving swiftly on.
I'm glad you mentioned, some of the things that you see on Reddit and the comments that people are making. And, I think it is really interesting seeing these reactions and comments about, that the H word hate,
Mm,
and there are some things that I'm not very fond of. I'm not particularly care for. But yeah, hate does like if it's a word that sometimes can be come across almost mean sometimes. I mean, there are things that I dislike. It's true.
mhm.
But I think when you see it written in text, it has a very different feeling sometimes. But hearing those opinions, I don't know, would it have been different if they had said, I didn't really care for Ghost, it's not my favorite, versus I hate Ghost?
I don't know, man. It's just that, I'm not even misspeaking. I'm sure they've said it, but it's just that the whole conversation is kind of asinine. If you don't like Ghost, right? Here's the
Yeah, why are
thing.
you talking about them?
Yeah, why are you talking about them? And don't listen to them. Oh, that's a load of shit. I don't like that. Great, fine. Don't listen to it. That's the end. If I like Ghost, you don't. It doesn't matter. One of my dear friends, Jamie from the 80s. You've seen the picture of me and Jamie standing in the bedroom with the leather jackets and that. He fucking loves thrash, Slayer, and all that Venom and all the what are they,
I love
Voivod and all.
Slayer.
all those things that were around at that.
Pantera, who else did
Yeah,
I like? Uh,
Voivod, all that stuff. There was one
Cemetery
Australian one that
Gates,
were pretty good.
Pantera.
Yeah, but I hated it. I didn't mind
Oh,
Venom,
you
but
don't
the rest,
wait, you don't like that kind of metal? You don't like
no,
Oh,
I
I didn't
don't.
know. I didn't know. Okay, that's
But,
cool.
because I hated it, didn't mean I hated Jamie, and, we had fights about it. It's like, well, it's not really my cup of tea, but I would listen to Slayer, and
Yeah.
all the rest of it. It just wasn't. I think it's the with heavy metal for me, it was all about kind of the sound of the person's voice. It didn't have to be necessarily operatic like Bruce Dickinson or Eric Adams or something like that. Loved Blackie Lawless out of Wasp. I loved the sound of his voice. That was just more my speed. It wasn't breakneck fast, but it was, jing, chicka, jing, chicka, jing, chicka, jing. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
you know
yeah.
that's the stuff that I like basically.
No, and a lot of the death metal is a lot of screeching, and they
Hmm.
sound they're like, "This is real," and
Yeah.
you're like, "Okay." But I liked "Cemetery Gates" by Pantera. I don't know if you know that song, but
Mm-mm.
it's a love song about a woman he lost, and obviously she's dead. But it's like very so appropriate for death metal, right?
Of
Um,
course.
and I'm like, this is very clever. He's talking about a woman he's lost. I'm like, that's the type of creativity like we're looking for when it comes to death metal. But there are some where I don't even understand what the guy is saying. And
Mm.
I'm like, I don't know about this, but it's okay. Like I've listened to enough of it through these years that I'm sure whatever poison is in the song is already inside of me now. It can never come out. I've already been poisoned. It's too late. She's listened to so much of it. Stavros says there was a surprise earthquake. Yes, we had an earthquake in New York and my house shook and it was very uncomfortable. It was weird. And it actually the epicenter was in New Jersey, but I felt it here in Long Beach. It
Mhm.
was like maybe 75 miles away from my house. So you can imagine it was relatively close. And it says the Maryland bridge got wiped out. Russ, somebody lost power on a boat and crashed it into a bridge. Like
Yeah,
this is
that's tragic. The people lost their lives.
I
Yeah, it's
can't
terrible.
believe it. It's so horrific what happened. These poor guys working overnight, to earn a living to support their families. Many of them from South America. They talked about them sending money back. We have a lot of people who are immigrants in the United States who are doing this, who
Mhm.
work here overnight doing difficult jobs like that, things that are very dangerous. And they are, busting their ass to send money back home just like anybody would. Oh, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been crazy, Stavros, you're right. Um, so Bonzo has a question. He wants to know, are you going to become a Yank or is Wendy going to become a Brit or are both of you going to do that? What's going to happen, Russ?
Wasn't it Bonzo that spotted the engagement ring? Like,
Yes.
is it like Bonzo's like, they're into into what's happening in the romance? Yeah, no, we don't know. Likely, I'll become a Yank, I think, because Wendy's got a really sweet job. And yeah, if she was over here working those hours, because the job's actually based on the West Coast, so the hours are even worse than they would be if it was on the East Coast or Central or something like that. So essentially, if she was here, she'd have to work until not 1 o'clock in the morning. So that's doable for a couple of weeks if she wants to come over here for a couple of weeks. But no, it's likely I'll go to the United States. Um, and we lost our Okay, so Russ is gonna solo for a little bit. So what do we got going on here? Let me see what we got.
Sorry,
Oh,
I had a
us-
power outage just for a second. Sorry,
oh,
guys.
okay.
Like the everything turned off and then turned back on again. So, I apologize. Yes, Russ, you were saying.
No, no, I was just saying. So it's likely I would go there because of Wendy's job, but we don't know yet. It's still early days. And there's a lot of logistics um, to 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 get through. Like, we were laughing about the irony of it, because what I really should do, if you want to come to England, don't try and do it legally. Just go to Paris, get on a boat, come over, get a house, get everything. Brilliant. Maybe I should take myself off into Mexico and go over the border and wind up in a cell in New York for a couple of days, and then be given my citizenship and my mobile phone and told to go off and be a good boy. But yeah, it's complicated business, which I've always thought is pretty silly between such close allies as we are. But there you go. It's a difficult process.
Yeah, and Russ, I understand what you mean about the time zone situation. And ironically, right now for me, for work, I have to work all time zones.
Hmm.
So I don't have the privilege of necessarily like Eastern Standard Time, Central, whatever. Right now, I'm not in that zone where I knew it was going to be that particular area. So I'm ever ready, Russ, and it's so hard figuring out, going forward, like for example, 1 week here, 2 weeks there. It's very challenging. And but however, I'm so glad that you and Wendy are together. It makes me so happy to see both of you just
Thank you,
really
Reese.
in love. It is so beautiful to see that.
Yeah,
Um,
I really love her. She's brilliant, and I'm really, like at my age, I'm no spring chicken, and I feel really blessed to have met someone like as wonderful as her at this late-ish stage of my life. I couldn't. It's like I won the fucking lottery. You know what I mean? I won the girlfriend lottery. She's brilliant. She's just brilliant. In every way. I think she's beautiful, and but we get along. We agree on our values are the same, and it's just easy, like she's, her family treats me like I'm a piece of the furniture now. So that's great. I just kind of like, I'm at the barbecue doing my thing, "Oh, yeah. Oh, hi guys, yeah, how's it going?" So it's very normal. I wish I could, win the lottery or something and just get myself over there and be with her 24/7. But it is what it is. She should never have put Wendy in London on her Tinder profile. If you're watching, Wendy, why can't you be from Putney? But which is it's like a oh, hi, no, I'm in Tennessee. Oh God, okay. But it is what it is. What are the odds, man? What are the odds?
well, I love love stories, and I expect a movie or something or a book or something out of this, Russ. And I want love scenes. I'm just
Hmm.
letting you know.
Yeah, thanks.
Um,
Nobody wants to
hello.
see me.
you know, if you've ever watched The Piano, you wouldn't be saying that.
Yeah.
Cavantino Cavalryman Shay, hello. Now, Russ, I have only a few more minutes for this stream because, as you guys know, I have to. My brother is picking me up. He's going
Hmm.
to text me when he gets here, which I imagine is in 10 minutes. And I have to endure being in the car with the windows down in the middle of winter because that's how he drives.
Mm.
So I'm going to do my best. But I did want to say hello to Cavantino Cavalryman Che. Also, Mike Murray. Hey, Mikey Lito. Uh,
Hey.
says, welcome to the Say Anything, Do Anything world of 2024. Remember to protect your eyes during Monday's solar eclipse. Good morning, RM Russ and the world of positive fandom. I love that. Cavantino mentions that Kiss sold their catalog for 300 million. That's why we're seeing their songs in drug commercials, right, Russ?
I guess so, yeah. But then again, I saw Paul Stanley like in some sort of in medical commercial or something like that. I don't know. Fair play to them. They're like 100 years old now, aren't they? They've been going since the 70s. You know, they're not even 80s kids, are they? They're
Yeah,
70s
yeah,
bands.
they're 70s.
Mhm.
Hello, Norwegian
Hello,
Kryptonian.
Norwegian Kryptonian.
So good to see you. Guys, oh, thank you for the support. Hit the like, all that sort of stuff. Really enjoy seeing you here. Retro Nerd Girls here. Hi, Retro.
Oh, my resident crush. Hello.
Says, hey, brunch is so good to see everyone. So good to see you all too, guys. I sure hope you all have had a great week. We also have JH edits here. Hey,
Hey, man.
JH, how are you, man? Sure hope you're well. And Tom Jr. Jackson says, make sure you subscribe to Retro Nerd Girls channel and
Yes,
check out her
100%.
latest video, Beyond Battle Beyond the Stars, 1980.
Oh shit, that didn't come up. That didn't come up in my stream. What the hell? Retro. I'm gonna watch it. I love your retrospectives. I think, guys, if anyone new here or newish here that hasn't watched retro stuff, get yourself to that channel. It is sweet, and she's got the cutest voice in the world as well, so it makes the listening sweet as well.
And she is absolutely beautiful as well.
This
Um,
is true, but she does not. She's not always on camera though.
right. But guys, you can catch some of her live streams every once in a while. And guys, I asked for when YouTubers come on, do let us know your latest video. YouTube does unsubscribe you from some channels. So be careful, guys.
Mm.
Check your channels and make sure that you are still subscribed to your favorite channels. That's why I put them in there, not just so that you're aware. that they exist, but also in case you got unsubscribed. So keep that in mind, guys. And Bonzo says, I was made for loving you, baby. You
You
were
were
made for
made for
loving
loving
me.
me.
I love it.
I'm gonna give it all to you.
I love it, Bonzo. Before we stop the stream, which we're going to do in a few minutes,
Mhm.
um, I
Are
wanted
you
to
gonna
talk.
apologise for being late then? Because I was getting nagging texts going, "Russ, are
I'm
you available today?
sorry.
It's 3:30." And I'm like, "Yeah, when are you gonna send me the link?" She's like, "Oh, shit, I forgot."
It's my fault. Mea culpa. I forgot
Yeah.
to send Russ the link at 10:30. So I was like, Russ, we spoke earlier. Are you still free? And he's like, I don't have the link. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. So yeah, that's exactly literally blow by blow, word for word, how it went down. And Retro says, oh wow, Tom, thanks for sharing. Of course, Retro Nerd Girl. We love your channel. We love you.
Yeah, we're spitting facts. We love you, man. You do really, really, really good work, and more people should see it.
Absolutely, guys. So make sure you do go to Retro's channel and see her latest deep dive into Battle Beyond the Stars
Mhm.
1980.
It was the
Um
most enjoyable fight. Sybil Danny.
oh no, Rabodi, never saw you before, but hello, says, oh no.
Hello.
And I did just want to briefly talk about, yes, Detroit Rock City. Yes.
Yeah, the bass line.
Yes,
Do-dum-dum, do-do-do-do-do,
yes,
do-do. It's so
yes.
good. So good.
Absolutely, retro nerd girl, and I love hearing Paul Stanley talk about how he used to drive a cab in New York, a bazillion years ago. But he's just like he's just so sweet. He's like, he's used to be very humble. I used to drive a cab in New York, and I'm like, well, everybody drives Uber nowadays. Like practically
Mm.
everybody's an Uber driver nowadays. Who would have thought, that particular situation? But something to think about. I always love Kiss. Um, so before we go, and I don't really only have about 5 minutes, I wanted to mention, Russ, I watched the first episode of the Three Body Problem. Now, I should mention this. I am going to say, I've heard different comments about the show from different
Mhm.
people, but episode one, I still don't know why it's called. Now, I'm sure there's a reason why it's called the Three Body Problem, but I still don't know the reason why it's called the Three Body Problem. However, that's okay. Like, I like a mystery. It's kind of like a science fiction mystery.
Mhm.
Somebody has an imagination, but other people have told me that there's a lot of heavy emphasis. It's very female focused,
Mhm.
and I don't know if you know in general, it's not that there aren't female scientists, but since so many of the scientists out there are men, it's a right, Russ.
It's
Um,
distracting. It's just a little bit distracting. It's kinda like at the beginning, the 2 girls are in it's a lot of it's set in England, which is quite funny, like modern day England, and these 2, girls are in a pub. One's Asian, one's American. It's a karaoke bar, and they don't seem to enjoy karaoke. So why? But anyway, they're sitting there, and this bloke sort of comes and goes, "All right, girls, can I get you a drink?" He's actually got like a mullet, which I've mullets are back, and he goes, "Yeah, all right, girls, can I get you a drink?" And they're like,
yeah,
and he goes, "So
they're not necessarily that they don't like him, or they just say no thank you and leave it
exactly,"
at
but
that.
they have to stay the point. I'm a molecular physicist, and I do this, and I do that, and then the other one goes, "Yeah, and I invented the da, da, da." And it's kind of like, well, what's the point of that scene? Oh, I know, it's to make the straight white bloke look like a fool.
A lot of people are interpreting that way, and I thought he was kind of sweet. Like anytime a man offers to buy you a drink, it's a compliment. Which actually, I always think that men are wonderful for even doing that.
It
Um,
takes a lot. I tell you what, man. It used to take a lot of guts. Like you'd have to be drunk, watching them to make sure they're drunk enough not to tell you to piss off, and you were drunk enough to have the courage to go and do it. But then there was another scene where she goes, "Oh, what did the neuroscientist? What you went to the neuroscientist? What did he say?" And she goes, "What do you mean? What did she say?" And it's just stupid things like that. Like, oh, come on, guys. And once again, you can't have a straight white couple. Like, oh, she's got a new boyfriend now. Oh, well, of course, he has to be Indian. He's in the Royal Navy and he's an Indian guy, and this and that. And it's like, it, I, but the show, like, so far isn't like, woke, and it's not giving woke propaganda apart from those really stupidly pointless bits, which really detract from it. It's kind of like, oh well, we better have the Indian guy, and we better have one of them. Yeah, make her lame and gay. Yeah, check. I'm sure there's going to be somebody lame and gay in there, and it's like, oh God, guys, just stop, because actually the story's gripping. It's so funny hearing Benedict Wong speaking his actual voice as opposed to sort of
Yes,
like,
with the English accent. Yes, I
yeah,
love
with his
hearing
British
that
accent.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
So.
it's interesting, Russ, because one thing that I noticed is that, as far as I'm concerned, I think that the women are very attractive in this
Mm.
show. But, I'm not saying that the men shouldn't be attractive. And I don't, I'm just going to be honest. Like, it's unrealistic to expect a super hot scientist, but god damn it, there could have been at least one hot guy in here, just one. I mean,
But
they
the
did
Indian
have,
guy's pretty good looking though, isn't he? I mean, the Navy guy.
yeah, but he's not a scientist.
Uh,
So like all the scientists look like real scientists
mm,
that are male.
nerds. Yeah.
And then when you get to the women, it's like, well, guess what? It's actually the same, where the most scientists look like ordinary people, but they made the female scientists, the stars who play that role, smoking hot. Russ,
Mm.
why? You see what I'm getting
Well,
at? Like,
so they can reject mulleted English blokes in the pub,
because they
obviously.
had to look like they could reject him versus also saying that they have accomplishments. That's
Yeah, look,
right.
they're hot. He's gone up and he's asked to buy him a drink. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. And it's one of those things where it's pointless. That's the
Yeah.
whole thing. What the
I
fuck is that?
disagree,
What's
Darth
that scene? Is
Plato.
why is it
I
there? Why is
disagree.
that scene there? Why
I've
do you?
I've
Sorry.
I've known a ton of yeah, I've known a ton of scientists, and I don't think they did.
Well, you're a
But,
scientist yourself. So you're one of the hot ones. So you could have been in that bar there, and you wouldn't have told that guy to piss off. I'm sure, because he was quite good looking. But
after so many conventions and, meetings, whatever, I think it skews more towards the super ordinary Darth Plato, and I'm talking not just in the United States, but also internationally. I kind of know what they look like, and it's like the rest of the world.
Mhm.
So, there's got to be some reason why the women are made to look so super hot. Those are good looking actresses. They're
They're
not just
beautiful, but
ordinary looking people.
why is that scene there? What is the point of that scene? Because it makes Augie and Jin, I think the other character's name is, it just makes them come across as a couple of unlikable bitches. It's like, great, oh, well, get the pole out of your ass, you stuck up cow. You know what I mean? Like, what is the point? We're supposed to be rooting for you, not thinking, oh, here we go again, strong, empowered, fucking diverse women who don't need no
Well,
man.
I
That's
think
such a groundbreaking thing, but I don't want it to detract from the
you
show, because once you push that shit aside, it's actually really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it.
yeah, and that's what Mario's saying. And if you look at scientists in general, from what I understand, I haven't checked the statistics recently,
Mm,
but when I was in graduate school, the majority of female scientists were going into like anthropology or psychology.
mhm.
I don't believe that women have dominated the field of physics. I just don't believe that's true. What do you think, Russ? Have you
Well,
heard
I
that?
think it's largely, the enemy of all the root of all evil tends to dominate that particular branch of science. We know who they are. They look like me, and they're my sort
Yes.
of age.
Yeah,
The
well, yeah,
enemy, kids. They're the enemy.
white males, and let's say I'm also going to go to say Asian males.
Yes, that's true.
Asian males, who I've had many fantastic professors and mentors from Asia, and also European males, which is great. I think that's
Oh, do
great.
you know what? Mario makes a great point here. Denise Richards looks like a super
Oh
very
yeah,
young scientist and super hot in the James Bond movie. Now I remember that at the time, and
she looked good in
how
it. I liked her.
yeah, but how the world has changed, because there were newspaper articles, magazine articles about how ridiculous it was to have someone so young and hot being a nuclear scientist. And it was like all about how beautiful she was and how young she was. Can you imagine that article coming out today? Yeah, I was, like in the Telegraph, yeah, the third body problem suffers from a lack of realism, because scientists aren't that hot, and how come these chicks are so hot, and blah blah blah, and they're really young, they're too young to be scientists, there's no way women can get that, there's a glass ceiling, da, da, da. Jesus Christ, the guy would be dragged out and pilloried if he wrote that, I'm sure. But Denise Richards she had to wear it back in the day.
Yeah, it's true. Oh no, Roboto. We don't actually care.
We don't
What I'm
actually
saying
care.
is,
Denise
oh no,
Richards.
Roboti, is have if you're gonna have hot women, have hot men. I
Hmm.
deserve to see some hot male scientists, don't I? Shouldn't
Hmm.
I be able to see a hottie? If you're gonna make him look like, if you want to bring in Brad Pitt to play a scientist, then bring in Brad Pitt to play a
He was one of
scientist.
the producers, Brad
Yes,
Pitt.
bring him
Yeah.
in and let him be a hot scientist.
Mhm,
That's all I'm asking for, guys.
mhm.
But the reality of the situation is that, like just like any other group, they're ordinary looking people. But if you're gonna go hot on the females, ramp it up and go hot on the males. I just want to see my hot males out there. I want to have
Hey,
some
what am I? Chopped liver? What's going on here?
um yes, and guys, I just want to say hi to Jamie D. I have to
Hey,
end the
Jamie.
screen because, guys, I gotta go ahead and see my mom. My brother's coming, and he did text me. He's gonna be here in 5 minutes. So, guys, I wanted to thank you all for being here. Yeah, that's interesting. Darth Plato talks about how the majority of faculty and students are East Asian. Yeah, right. Different faculties, different ways. I went to a very international school. I went to City University of New York that has, a ton of different immigrants. So it's literally a melting pot from that school. So my school is a little different. Um, I think one of the largest universities in North America is the University of Toronto, and they have a different student body. And Old Yorkshire Geek says, I keep missing this as I move in and out of the room and I prepare my son's tea. Hot chick scientist. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Amy Adams in Arrival. She's a hot chick scientist, right? And didn't someone say
Oh,
Alice Eve?
you look at Dark Plato says arm is wrong. Us dorky dudes went for these ladies. Darth Plato, I love it. I love it. Um, you guys make me laugh. You guys make me laugh. Russ, thank you so much for being here and putting up with my craziness today. Um, I want to thank Tom Jr. Jackson for being here, my moderator, collaborator, and good friend. We are all good people. Thanks everybody for supporting the channel. Thank you for letting me know your thoughts and different things that's going on in your lives. Um,
Oh, there's Big Joe.
uh,
Yeah, Joe, we were just killing time until you made a comment, mate, but we have to go
oh,
now.
oh, thank God he showed up.
Yeah,
We couldn't
exactly.
end the show until
Well,
he showed
now
up.
we can end the show. Cheers, Joe.
Whew, that was close. Yeah, here, Magneto and Rogue, best couple of the year. Oh,
Uh,
Yorkshire Geek says hi.
well,
And
no, what's he doing?
also,
He's going to be doodling on his channel at 9 o'clock tonight, GMT, which will be
absolutely,
about 3 o'clock
guys.
Central, I think.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Oh no, Roboti for the roll credits. Good to see you here. Welcome, Oh no, Roboti. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciate the support and love, guys. We will be back next week. We will be back.
I know
Um,
it's a
uh,
season closer next week, sadly.
well, it will be for a while, yeah,
Mid-season
unfortunately.
break kind of thing, isn't
Yes,
it?
we're at the hiatus, little hiatus. But
Mm.
guys, I so appreciate you all. Russ, where can people find you?
Oh, normally here on my website, but more importantly, where can they find you, RM?
You guys can find me here on Positive Fandom. You can find me on the Burnettwork, or you can find me on Roman Empire Matters. Thank you, everybody, for being here, guys. And remember, no matter where you are in the galaxy, always remember to please be kind.
Thanks
Take
so
care,
much,
everybody.
everyone. Cheers, cheers. Bye bye now.